and welcome to the video that is going to help you organize just about everything in your life. This video applies to you whether you rent or own your house, whether you're a parent or not a parent. Pretty much if you live under a roof, then you have a space to organize and declutter. I'm going to make a really bold statement and say that decluttering and organizing is way more important, 100 times more important than actually cleaning. And the reason why is that because without decluttering and without organizing, you are going to have so much more stuff to clean. If you are a person that feels like you're continuously cleaning and you just can't stay on top of it, it may be because you simply have too much stuff. People tend to just collect and buy more and more things. But every item that you bring into your home is another job, and it's another thing that you are going to have to take care of and find a home for. So this video is your encouragement to go through your space at home and start your decluttering journey. Trust me, once you do this, you're going to spend way less time doing chores and more time doing the things you love. Don't feel like you need to get everything done in one session. You can literally work on one room a day or even just one drawer a day as long as you start. Our goal is to get our homes to a healthy baseline that is easy to maintain. I'm going to take you around with me to show you how to declutter a variety of different areas in your house. This video is definitely going to be a two-parter because there's just so many different areas that we can tackle and we don't want to get overwhelmed with the process. Let's start in our closets. Closets are often an area of chaos in people's homes, so I'm going to share some tips on how I keep my closet a little more manageable. The first thing I do to keep my closet organized is that I rotate my clothing depending on the season. I have my fall and winter clothes, and then I have my spring and summer clothes. Clothes that are not in season will go in a storage bin in the basement. This frees up so much space in my closet. I couldn't imagine trying to fit everything in my closet at once. It also saves me so much time when I'm getting dressed because I don't have to go on a scavenger hunt to find a certain item. In this video, you can see me looking through each and every piece of clothing I have and determining whether it should stay or whether it should go. Right now, I'm putting away all of my fall and winter stuff because we're starting to reach February and I'm craving spring already. At the same time, I'm also looking for pieces that I haven't worn in the past year. I am really guilty of hanging on to clothes that I haven't worn in years because I think that I might wear it one day. I think a lot of people tend to do this. I also don't have like a ton of money and I don't have the budget to replace an item, so I tend to hang on to it. But this is a very bad habit because what ends up happening is that when I'm getting ready in the morning, I try a bunch of things on and I don't like it time and time again, and it ends up on the floor, which creates a mess for me to clean up later on. And it's really annoying. I don't like having just like a pile of clothes on the floor. So if you're not ready to completely say goodbye to an item and you're kind of having some hesitation, you can always put it in a probation bin, put it down in storage, and give it some time to see if you miss the item. Let's say one day you're getting ready and you're like thinking of that item, you can always go and get it. It's not gone forever. If you are ready to let go of an item, you can make two piles, trash and donation. I try to donate as much as possible, but if something has holes in it, stains, or they're period panties, then it's gonna go in the trash can. You can even call up your friends, have a girls' day, go through each other's donation piles prior to giving them to the thrift store, because something that is no longer your style, it might be a treasure to somebody else. And the thrift stores, they're putting pretty hefty price tags on some of their clothes and items that they're selling. So I rather give my donation clothes away for free to somebody that I know. My next tip is to hang your clothes in categories. So I have like dresses, sweaters, t-shirts, long sleeves, and then within each category, I color code them. So for my sweaters, I have pink sweaters, blue sweaters, white sweaters, and so on and so forth. You get it. So this is not only visually appealing, but it also makes finding an item just so much more easier. Now I'm moving on to my husband's area, and I'm just repeating that whole process. I'm removing anything that doesn't make sense. I'm putting his clothes into categories. Workout clothes, dress shirts, sweaters, t-shirts, pajamas, jeans, you get the point. And my goal is so that when he's getting ready in the morning, he can find his clothes quickly and get ready effortlessly. One thing I really like about our closet in this house is how much built-in storage we have. We do rent, and this house came with all of this like built-in shelving and a bunch of hooks, and I gotta say it's definitely worth the investment. If you find your closet just chaotic, definitely look into building some kind of shelving unit or even just getting some hooks for the back of your door. Every item should have a place. If it doesn't have a place, it's just gonna end up on the floor and it's gonna create a huge mess. If you have a very small closet and you're looking for an affordable way to add more storage, I would highly recommend these foldable hanging storage units. I think I got mine from Walmart for like $12 or something, so they're very affordable, but there's so many little compartments and cubbies, so we put our pajama tops in them, our bathing suits, and my husband's underwear. We don't have a dresser in our room, so we also use these black bins from IKEA. They're super cheap and they hold a lot. So I put all of my pajamas in one of the bins and I put all of our underwear and socks in the other bin. Right now you can see me going through my pajamas. I am not much of a red girly, so anything that has red on it or plaid, I put away in my seasonal bin. Something I also like to do often is go through my underwear and socks. I throw away any socks that have holes in them, and I go through any underwear that has any stains or like period spots on it, and I throw those away. Okay, I'm officially done this closet and it feels so good. So everything here is everything I removed. So as you can see, it freed up so many hangers. This pile here is clothes that are like on probation, like I was explaining earlier. They're things that are not very nice, but I want to keep for like camping purposes or because I'm not like quite ready to part with it. And then a lot of this pile is like seasonal stuff that needs to go in storage. Like this dress is like for fall and like some Christmas pajamas, but a lot of it is stuff I need to donate. So I'm going to bring it all down to the basement. Like all of this stuff is going in the basement, and then I'm going to make the final decision. Is it going in the seasonal bin or is it going in the donation bin? And then I will go from there. This feels so good, you guys. I have so much space in between my hangers, whereas before it was like I had to like really use my muscles to like open up space to actually view the clothes. So it already feels like it's going to be so much more manageable. I refolded and organized everything on the shelves. Again, shelving is so important. Like invest in your shelving and invest in your storage because it really comes in handy. We don't have like a dresser in our bedroom, so this is kind of like our dresser. We do rent, so we did not install that. That was luckily there when we got here. As for like my husband's side, I just kind of organized his stuff by like flannels, sweaters, dress shirts, casual clothes, and then I put his pants and his pajamas there. And with my stuff, I tried to color code it to the best of my ability. So everything's kind of color coded, but it's also like sectioned off. Like this is graphic tees. These are all like sweaters and long sleeves. And then everything in this corner is like dresses and fancy clothes. It feels really good. Moving on to the playroom. Is your playroom an area that gets messy really quickly and it looks like a tornado went off? Well, I have the solutions. Now, if you don't have a playroom, don't worry, this still applies to you. Whether your children keep their toys in the living room or their bedroom, you can still use these tips. So tip number 1, do a toy rotation. Just like I rotate my clothing, I like to rotate my kids' toys. I rotate their toys about every 2 weeks, and there's a couple of different reasons why I like to do this. First off, without rotating my kids' toys, there would simply just be way too many toys in the room at one time, which would make it very hard for my children and myself to keep the room looking clean and organized. Every toy should have a home and a special place so that your children know how to properly put it away after their play. If there's too many toys for you as a parent to manage, then how can we put this expectation on our kids? Secondly, toy rotation ensures that every toy is being played with and is shown love. There is a study that shows that kids only need between 5 to 7 toys, and when a kid has too many toys, it becomes very overwhelming to the point where they don't actually play with anything, and instead they just toss everything on the ground and make a big mess and walk away. I love to buy my kids a variety of different toys to play with, but I understand that they don't need all of the toys available at the same time. If you notice that a toy is not being played with, then put it away for a while and then reintroduce it later on, and it may make the toy feel brand new again, and it may spark your children's attention. My next tip is in regards to how to store your kids' toys. I highly recommend using an open shelving unit to store their toys rather than putting their toys in a bin. Toys that are stored in bins just get lost and they don't end up getting played with. Kids don't really have the patience to sit and shift through a bunch of bins filled with toys just to find the one that they're looking for. Whereas open shelving, it allows your child to see each and every one of their toys, and it helps them to also know where to put it when they're done using it. My next tip is to create a rule of toys stay in the playroom. This is something that has been a slow learning process for my daughter, but she is definitely, we're getting somewhere. I was so tired of toys being scattered all around my house. She would pick up a toy, bring it to a different floor, and just leave it there. So I decided to create this rule. This isn't to say that she is only allowed to have toys in one area of the house. In fact, we have toys on every single floor so that she's able to play no matter like what I'm doing. However, there is designated areas for those toys. All right, I'm done organizing the playroom as of now. I feel like every single day I'm just slowly chipping away at the toys and removing more and more, because again, 6 to 7 toys is that sweet spot. If you have too many toys out, they're just gonna get thrown around. Your kids are literally just gonna like take them out of the bins, throw them around the room, and then not know what to do with them because it's just so overwhelming. So I feel like even now I have a little bit too many, but it's definitely better than what it was. Same with the book situation. I have a handful of books there, but we have a massive book collection. But this way, every book is shown love and has its own special time to shine. The kitchen is something that we always keep out just because it gets played with a lot and it's a little bit hard to like store and bring up and down. But yeah, so playroom. Toy rotation is key. We also really like to rearrange the layout of the playroom so that it stays interesting and engaging. Otherwise, they can get bored of their space and then it's just not being used. And another rule we have when it comes to the playroom is that toys stay in the playroom. That rule is something that is still being taught and comes a little bit challenging for my daughter, but she'll know the answer. I say, Alethea, where does the toys go? And she says, in the playroom. So I say, okay, pick up your toys, put them in the playroom. And she's getting slowly, gradually better and better at that rule. This is a bunch of stuff that was in the playroom that I have to now find a home for. Moving on to your kids' room. One thing in particular I want to talk about in today's video when it comes to your children's bedroom is to have a bin in their room for the clothes that are too small for them. Once the bin is full, you can go through the bin and determine what is to keep, sell, and donate. Kids and babies grow so fast, so I find this a necessity. Having this bin in their closet will ensure that clothing that is too small isn't getting shoved back into a drawer or getting rehung on a hanger. Another way I recently decluttered my kids' bedroom is to have some of their teddy bears and stuffies on rotation. Kids tend to be gifted so many stuffed animals from family and friends, and it can get quite excessive. My daughter wasn't playing with hardly any of her teddies, so I put them away in storage and I will be alternating them out every so often. It's hard to throw away like teddies because they're often sentimental as they're given for like birthdays and when they're born and stuff like that. The ultimate way to keeping your kids' room organized is to keep it minimal. Kids are still learning how to take care of their belongings, and it's a lot easier for them to learn when they have fewer things to care for. I think it's really important to teach your kids from a young age to be grateful for all that they have, and when you have gratitude for each and every item, you realize that each item needs to be taken care of properly. If you are grateful for your possessions, then you should be showing your items respect. Showing your items respect means that they're in their proper place if they're not being used and they're not left out for the dog to chew on them or for somebody to walk on them and damage them. If you as a parent notice that certain items are not being shown respect, then you have the authority to take away that item and your child can lose privilege of that item until they show that they can respect their items. When decluttering your child's room, it's a great idea to involve them in this process and ask them what they want to keep and donate. It is their space after all. Moving on to the kitchen. Kitchens are another area where things just start to collect. There's so many cupboards and drawers and nooks and crannies that items can hide and be buried away. So I encourage you to go through each and every drawer and cupboard and see what treasures you find, or maybe what junk you find. Our kitchen is fairly organized and minimal, and here is how I keep it that way. Number 1, have less dishes. This includes everything like plates, bowls, cups, silverware. Less dishes means less pile up in your sink, which means less to wash. When you have fewer dishes, you're more inclined to wash a dish rather than grab a new one. Number 2, to have less appliances and kitchen tools. There are so many like kitchen tools and appliances nowadays that seem to make life more convenient, but I actually find it the opposite. The more appliances and kitchen tools, the more clutter in your kitchen, and eventually they just get forgotten about and not even used. Appliances, they get so dirty with each use. Grease and food gets caked on them, and you can't just throw them in the dishwasher. I personally hate scrubbing down things by hand, so appliances aren't very appealing to me. I don't understand the concept of having something so large and clunky kicking around when I can get the same job done with like a basic kitchen essential. If there are appliances you use every day, like an air fryer or a coffee machine, then that's great. I'm not saying you should get rid of everything. I'm just more so talking about the things that you use like once or twice a year, and things that are just like taking up too much space. Number 3, sort through your Tupperware. Why do I feel like every house I've ever been to has the same issue when it comes to Tupperware? You either don't have a lid or you don't have a container. Well, here's your cue. Open that drawer you've been dreading and sort through. Sometimes when we do this, we're like, oh, but what if one day we find it? Well, you can also put that item on a probation period, put it off to the side, put it in a different cupboard, put it down in your storage. If something magical happens where your kids or husband brings home a bunch of dishes and you find the lid or container, you can always go and search for it. But you don't just want these things sitting for months on end, just taking up precious space. Okay everyone, thank you so much for making it to the end of today's video. If you found this video really useful, then please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out and it tells YouTube to share the video with more people. Additionally, if you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments, do you guys want a part 2 to this video? There's so many different areas that we can declutter together. Some of the areas I'm thinking of is your garage, your storage room, your linen closets, your phone, your car. There's so many different areas. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys want a part 2, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!